If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. So today was the town-wide yard sale. I spent $25. And how much am I going to make? We don't know. Last year, I spent $19 and I made $160. So we're going to take that off because it takes up the whole screen. But that's going to be the goal, to beat last year. It seemed like I bought less, which is odd. I spent more. I'm more discerning now. I've been doing this longer. I'm better at it. There's things I passed up on this year that I know I probably would have bought last year. And yard selling is a strategy. It's thrift stores are your entry level because you have all the time in the world to look at stuff, sit there on your phone, and you learn. And a lot of what we do on this channel is we learn. Sometimes I make mistakes. Sometimes I make, leave stuff behind I shouldn't have, but we always learn. So year over year, I'm going to get better at this. And, yard selling is different. You could pull out your phone and start looking at stuff, but you're dealing with a human being who is going to be standing there looking at you the whole time. You're going to not make too many friends doing that. I personally believe in, you watch resellers on clips. I don't haggle. What the price is what the price is. Sometimes I'll give people more money because I know that they've priced something too low. But I don't want to rip people off. I don't want to put them in a weird spot where they have to negotiate with me because you don't understand where they're coming from. You're also kind of putting people in a spot where they may not be good at negotiating. They may not be comfortable in social interactions like that, and you're going to end up strong-arming them out of stuff, and I just don't want to do that to people. So you have to know your stuff. Get in there, make smart decisions. You can go back to the vehicle and change your mind. I did that on one of these items. I went back to the car and realized I made the right choice. It's probably going to end up being 2 videos, but we're going to run this spend the whole time. So let's dig into, we have some board games, so we'll dig into those, and they're special, they're different. See how far we get through those and get onto the other stuff. All right, so it can't be a video without Monopoly. But these are different. These are not run-of-the-mill Monopolies that you find anywhere. I would have bought those too. But what we have are 2 1961s and a 1974 anniversary edition. All right, so first one. So they had originally priced it and then decided it was free, so I took it. This is the kind where you could sell it in the box as is. Unfortunately, somebody wrote on it. A couple of spots. It does have tape damage. It's not in perfect shape. Let's look inside. And I don't know what these go for at the moment because you run into these maybe like twice a year. They're not common and people overvalue them. It's still Monopoly. It's still not worth a ton of money. Oh, okay, so this is a 74. Never mind. Unless they... No, I got these different houses. Never mind. I thought there was a 61. It's 74 non-anniversary. So the board's in good shape. We have the vintage money that doesn't have anything written on it. It's in very good shape. They didn't play this much at all. We have some hotels and houses and the figures in there. Don't need these. Dice. Don't need that. Just out of curiosity, we will look up what it goes for. Yeah, they wrote their name on here too. So a 74 Monopoly. Just to know what these are doing these days. So that's the one we got. Pre-owned, they're selling at 36. That's the anniversary we're going to look at. Odd that they came out on the same year with the same thing. And obviously the one would be cheaper than the other. So $750 for sale. 56 sold, some boards. A leather case edition. Cards, that's kind of weird because these are not different year to year. And it doesn't actually say what year they came from. They all say 1936. So that's kind of odd that somebody even sold that. The gold board is an anniversary. We have that. The box on that is not happening, however. Yeah, so these are all anniversary editions is what's selling. Oh, here we got one for 25 complete vintage. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. I mean, I just don't want it to sit around. That's per usual. If nobody had written on the box, I probably would have gone for it because it is in good shape. Oh, whoops. I should have probably done that. Well, now we're going to have our vintage money. We're going to add that in. That's in good shape. Our tokens, and this should be the classic 10, I think. Or might have already dropped down to 8 by this point. We got 8. I'm going to turn it into a 10 because I need a horseman to do that. I have the rest, so we're going to call that another 2. And yeah, the rest of it, nothing we can do with, but whatever. So we got 2 out of that, 4 rather. All right, so now we got a 61, which is not even in a shape to look at. In that regard, the box is water damaged. The board stained. Now these do tend to stain, and I feel like it might be the paper they used back in the day. It's hard to see that these are like all fingerprinted out. We got our money, we got our hotels, we got our houses. No other surprises, I don't think. That's going to be the classic 10 count, I believe, on this one. I forget when they went from 10 to 8. Oh, they have instructions. Equipment, money. I don't know if it tells you. Yeah, it must be on the bottom. But anyways, that's going to be the same as the other one. No surprises here. So we got another 4. This one was, yeah, the other one was free. This one I paid $2 for, so pretty standard. Final Monopoly is an anniversary edition from '74. The box is duct tape and painter taped together. So no chances this is going to be sold in anything other than parts. And we're missing the thing that makes this special, which is the spinner. God damn it. Oh, whatever. All right, so we have newer tokens. We have a vintage Sorry piece. I'll throw that in the pile. Actually, I think I have a vintage set missing a red. So I'll have to endeavor to find that. We have a vintage, that might be Clue. We have a red ball that goes with something. So I literally bought this in a barn that was being sold. So they were getting rid of everything. Their prices were oddly way too high on a lot of things, but a duct tape together Monopoly should not have been $2. But considering it's old and it was the anniversary edition with the spinner, I went for it, and guess what? That's a yellow one. That's odd. That does not belong here. Like a weird green one. That doesn't belong here either. Huh. Oh, they made their own cards, so obviously something went catastrophically wrong at a point. Yeah, they made quite a few alterations. They lost bits and bobs to this. All right, let me just sort this out here. From that game, and it was a mess, but that one, the anniversary edition, has a double stack just like the deluxe edition. So I actually got 2 stacks out of that. These are from The Simpsons. Somehow that got thrown in there. I didn't see that game, but they may have sold it before I got there. So as a recount, that's not going to do anything for me. This is actually a homemade die. You can see they just used like a resin and they punched holes in it. No value, just kind of something they did. These are from the game Aggravation, which I only got 2 of them. Again, probably sold before I got there. Sorry, Pawn. And this is from the Mother Goose game. Not enough tokens to make a set, so I threw them in the bin. So no spinner in that one. So the money is really the only value, other than I do want to look up that Sorry and see if I can complete it, because that would be kind of cool. But all right, that's it for board games. Yeah, why don't we look at something kind of cool I picked up for Thomas. Pieces for Sorry to make a complete set, which I'm completely sold out of Sorry. I didn't realize. So I got these that don't match. I am missing a red, but I'm also missing a blue. I still don't have a complete set. This is like 2 years I've been hanging on to this crap. I don't even know what these are, but yeah, figures. I thought we were there, and we are not. So, I got a bin out of this too, which is a good like medium-sized bin. So this is something the one thing I went back to the car, looked it up, and went back and bought. This is the Tommy Thomas the Train set. And I've had some of these pieces. I have some that I'm sitting on. I have some that I've sold. And I'm just not sure on value, because it's not the Mattel. It's not the mechanical sets. I think they do all link up, but I also didn't know if it was complete, but I found that it kind of didn't matter. Let's get all the pieces out that we have. This one's damaged, but still usable. There. That doesn't go to this, I don't think. D12. No clue what that is. 2003 Mattel, but it's not. It doesn't say Ghislaine, so it's probably not actually a Thomas. Same. And this is Blue Tommy Track 2001. I didn't look at what was in here, really. We'll do that now. So the reason I bought it is this. So this is, you can just put this any old where on the track, and it's a coal and water station. Now, I don't know if it's supposed to do anything. I think this rotates. At least it implies it does. This may be a thing I'll have to look it up on YouTube to see if it works, how it works. This really seems like it would do something because it plugs into the set. I don't know. So we have water up and down. Oh, does that do something? This may be broken. This piece would hit here. Hold on. It can only go one way. Yeah, this, I don't know, this is interacting with something and it's not doing anything. This makes that rumble, I guess. This is moving a little bit, but not really. Then there's a stop and go for the trains. Let me take it apart. But, anyways, I got all this for $5. So that's working. It's just supposed to shove this. I don't want to go rebuilding a thing. If I can help it, I'll have to look it up. But we can look this up on here. It's Coal and Water Station. There we go. 115 results. And pricing was pretty solid on it. Oh, okay, so you can see in this picture, this blue cylinder is stuck up. That is supposed to move. So I'm probably, before we get into taking stuff apart, we got to see what we have, see if it's worth doing. So we can see the complete set here. So it says complete. This looks right. We don't have the train, but we do have the blue track. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 curves and 2 straights. We got 2 straights and we have 6 curves. Uh-oh. That says complete as well. Yeah, so we're missing a few bits. Huh. But, like anything, when you're looking at stuff to determine worth, right? You look at this, $60, 15 watchers. That means if you go below that price point and have the same thing, you will sell it right away. And the coal station was all over the place for decent money, even incomplete. And sell through on it, 115. 12 of them sold. And that 115 isn't all just this, it gets confused, but it was only a few of these for sale, and the sell-through was almost 100% on this part. So, they're working coal station. I could get this working, I'm quite sure. So we're looking at about $40 on this. Call it 36 shipping. We'll just do that. So we are looking good. We have this track as well. So if you're doing Thomas track, if you look on the track, it'll have an item number that goes to the set it comes from sometimes. So this is a Hit Toy Company. This is Goulet. They lease out the rights to Thomas, and then companies make it. Hit made some stuff. 2006. So if I look up track or sets from that year, I may find what this goes to. So why don't we do that? So the track, I don't have all the track for the coal station, but that's value added, and that's why I can get 40 for it, provided I can get it working. But it's not going to be rocket science. I'm just going to have to goof with it a little bit here. But we'll do 2006 Blade Hit track. I have a short peg that fell into my keyboard from Game of Life I have to rescue. There we go. too much stuff today. Be at this for a while. Okay. So we have 90 piece from Hit Track. So this is going to be like a unique-ish piece, mixed lot. I don't have a complete anything. I was just curious what set it goes to. It may just have been a track set. And I do sell just bags of track and they go. So how many pieces do we have for this? 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. So, again, Gouade, and we'll put a 9. This is gonna get thrown off a bit just because there's too many numbers. So it's going to be about a buck a piece. So I could do 10 for that, and that will move. Then we have whatever this is. This is going to be harder to find. But we've got 2003 Patel, and we'll put Train. It's not Thomas, because it doesn't say Thomas. Maybe like, okay, so Geo-Tracks. Okay, that makes sense. We have that. We can see I have that piece. So now we'll just throw Geo-Tracks into here. It doesn't look like it comes like it's from a particular set necessarily. I don't know if 3 pieces are going to move the needle for anybody. So we got this piece here. Asking $30 for 8 pieces. So, all right, 1,600 sold. One has sold. So, all right, never mind. It's not doing it right, but I'm thinking 3 pieces isn't going to do me much good here. Yeah, that whole set for 16. Yeah, I'll just move that along. But, yeah, a little bit of track. See if I get that going. I'm not going to bother doing a video on it. How much time we got? Yeah, we'll call this a video. All right, so we're already in profit. I think this was going to be the larger item, but I do have a bit of something that could be very lucrative. Not to give it away yet, but that'll be in another video. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.